Lewis Hamilton's official decision on deciding whether he will stay with Mercedes F1. So we're going to be going through that in today's video, but before we get into it, make sure you like this video, and don't forget, if you want more Mercedes F1 content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that red button down below. But let's get straight into today's story. So Hamilton actually revealed that the Abu Dhabi heartbreak has put off F1 retirement for a little bit. As you all know, we all know what happened at Abu Dhabi, but Lewis Hamilton has admitted that his Abu Dhabi heartbreak has convinced him to put off retirement in Formula 1 until he could win another world title. One of the major F1 records Hamilton does not hold outright is a number of world championships, currently tied on 7 with Michael Schumacher. His chances of an 8th crown this season are over, as Mercedes has struggled to understand their W13 design and overcome the porpoising issue that has affected them in the first races of the campaign. Hamilton's best result thus far in 2022 are a pair of second places in France and Hungary, and is currently on course for his lowest ever finish in the World's Championship in 6th place. However, the British driver has revealed that the lure of a challenge to return to winning ways and fighting for titles has convinced him to go and not retire from Grand Prix racing. Now, I think this is honestly fantastic. As you all know, Michael Schumacher is definitely seen as one of the GOATs, and I feel like if Lewis Hamilton gets this last Drivers' Championship, he could actually be titled the GOAT of having 8. So I honestly think that's one of the reasons why Hamilton really does want that 8th, to beat that record, because that's definitely the record that kind of has him not being considered the GOAT, as he is tied with Michael Schumacher. Now, to me, as a Mercedes fan, I absolutely love, Hamilton. I think he is the GOAT, but to others, obviously that isn't the case, and that's completely fine. The GOAT debate is very, very interesting, which I love. Now, Hamilton was set to claim the record-breaking 8th crown, but then race director Michael Massey's decision behind a safety car in the finale enabled Max Verstappen to snatch the title away after a one-lap shootout. So there was a lot of controversy whether this should happen. Me personally, I don't think it should have happened, but it is what it is, and Lewis Hamilton ended up losing. That, coupled with the difficulty nature of the W13, has extended Hamilton's shelf life even further. I think we had just won last year, and then that we would win this year, life would be in a different place and you'd be on a different course, he explained. I love that it's gone through a phase even harder and we've got to pull through the thick slog. I would say that it's encouraged me to stay longer. I'm feeling fit and finding ways of feeling better physically. The mental challenge is a consistent thing, and that will always be the case, because that's how it is for us athletes, because we are on the edge. I like to think I still deserve a place here, and there is lots of work to do. So I think it is very interesting to see what he actually has to say with this, but now 37 and 38 by the time next season starts, Hamilton is near the end of his career than the start, and despite winning 103 Grand Prix, he is still eager to add to that tally and raise the benchmark. Now, do I think personally he is able to do that? I honestly think he is still capable. I know he is getting a little bit older, however, I think Lewis Hamilton definitely is still driving at a very high level, and if they get his car up to, I guess Red Bull standards and being able to compete with them, I definitely can see Hamilton winning another Drivers' Championship. He explained, to be honest, if every day was easy and you're just getting through it wouldn't be a challenge. I love the challenge of working with everybody and challenging the people and them challenging me. We acknowledged throughout this year that we have done a great job, but it doesn't mean that we can't do a better job in the future. We have done it in the past. Does it hurt? I would say it hurts. We all know what it could be. We would love to be in that battle fighting, and I wish that all the cars were a lot closer and we're all having a much better battle closer to the front. I wish there were only tenths between all of us, but that's not the way our sport is. So I don't worry about that. It's not something I can control at the moment, so I just focus on what I can, and that is trying to do a better job with what we've got and steering it. When I damage the car, I take money away from the budget, and I'm like, oh my goodness, don't do that. I'm hoping when we come back in February next year, the car touches the ground and it does not what we hope it does. So there is a lot of interesting things to this, and I think it is fantastic to see that Lewis Hamilton is deciding to stay no matter what. I think Lewis Hamilton staying with Mercedes is a very good idea. I think he can be a great driver. There may be a day where, George Russell actually overtakes him. However, for now, I definitely think they are on par. I think one of the reasons why George Russell is performing better than Lewis Hamilton is they're really experimenting a lot with actually Lewis Hamilton's car rather than George Russell's, so that's where you may have seen the inconsistency. But when it comes to Hamilton's driving, I think it's still very, very high. The fact that just last year he was at the top of the table, I don't think that it really has hurt him that much. I definitely think the W13 just has a lot of issues, and the porpoising earlier this season really put them out of contention, so that was kind of tough to see. Now, Russell actually points out the circuit which could give Mercedes-Benz chances of winning in 2022. Amid a strong showing from Red Bull's Verstappen alongside Ferrari's Leclerc, Mercedes has budged to secure a win thus far this season. While a win in 2022 appears to be a distant dream for the F1 team, however, in a recent interview with the press agency, Mercedes driver George Russell opened up on which circuit could provide Mercedes the best chance to break the duck this season. In the matter of the fact, latest drag in Mercedes F1 team came against the backdrop of a number of factors, including a sharp drop in morale of the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, and following last season's unprecedented defeat at Abu Dhabi due to a mistake from the race referee Michael Massey, a slip-up that has costed him the job and had brought in a barrage of overhauls in F1's referring policy. Aside from that, if a blatant truth is to be spilled over, the speed Red Bull engineers are generating seemed inevitable and quite awkward for other teams on multiple occasions this season. Russell points out which races could offer Mercedes a win. Meanwhile, as time is running out for the long-adored Silver Arrows to secure a victory this season with only 6 races remaining, Mercedes-Russell had pointed out the circuits which could hand out Mercedes F1 team the best chance to win at least an event this season. Mercedes had never been without a win in F1 calendar since 2011. Speaking in an interview with the press agency, Russell said, "Singapore could be interesting, but historically it's a circuit where Mercedes have struggled a little bit, and we know that street circuits this year we haven't fared so well. I think as a team we're making a huge amount of progress at the moment, and we're understanding the car more and more. Hopefully as we develop the car further we can take some further gains." So this is honestly interesting to see, and with everything that is being said. Now, Lewis Hamilton reveals Singapore Grand Prix doubts as he has no idea where Mercedes' car will be quick. And Lewis Hamilton actually had a lot to say. He said, "I have no idea where our car is going to be great. It was a surprise when we got in the car, and the car felt so much better than at Spa, like completely different to the previous weekend. But I'm hoping more often than not it feels like Budapest and Zandvoort for the rest of the races." Still yet to win this season, Hamilton has stressed that breaking the record of race victories in consecutive F1 seasons, which he currently shares with Michael Schumacher at 15, is not on his mind. "I'm not focused on the record, but of course I'm trying to get a win this year," he noted. "But with the record is not important to me just because I don't really care about records in general." So is this actually true? I don't really know. I think Hamilton really wants to keep the streak alive. I would especially. I feel like Lewis Hamilton, like we've talked about the GOAT debate, he's definitely up there, but he's very tied with Schumacher when it comes to a lot of his records. And as they say, stats don't lie, and obviously that's something that you have to see. So Schumacher being tied with Lewis Hamilton has had them started this kind of GOAT debate between the two, and I think if Lewis Hamilton can beat his records, then you can honestly say that Lewis Hamilton is the best driver ever in F1 history. So there is a lot of controversy behind this, but I want you guys to let me know down in the comments what you think. I want to say thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. Really do appreciate it. We are so close to 2K subscribers, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Peace.